Welcome to a busted play. An illegal use of hands to the face short.
Jake, we have to do this at some point in the off season. So I thought, what better day than to do it today of all days and pick our favorite to win MVP, who you want to win MVP, your dark horse MVP candidate, and like your super duper dark horse, like not even on anyone's radar MVP candidate. So,
All right.
what do you think? You got ideas for these?
Uh, for my will win MVP, we can just go back and forth with wills and wants and dark horse and stretch. But will, I think Patty Mahomes is coming off that Super Bowl loss with a vengeance. I think he's going to win another one. It's going to be hard for voters to not give him another one if he balls out like he did last season because he was in top three, and it's hard to have a guy compete for MVP, especially with the season Aaron Rodgers had. But I think Patty Mahomes has a really good chance of winning MVP with this if he's coming with a fire in his belly, wanting to get back to the Super Bowl and get a win.
So I agree with you. That's the guy I said that's the favorite to win MVP. Um, I don't really know if there's like how do you look around the league and say like there's not many other guys you would say, and I think the only thing the like one of the only other guys you may say is like Josh Allen, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to pick Josh Allen because I don't want to be biased and like just trying to remove my bias from it. Like I think the Chiefs offense is insane and I do think that Patrick Mahomes should be the favorite. So that one wasn't really the questionable one. These other three are where the fun ones begin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I agree with you. Wanted to remove all bias for Will, but I mean, who I want to win MVP, all my bias is coming to that. I want Josh Allen to win MVP. I want him to win MVP because if Josh Allen wins MVP, he had a better season. That means he had a better season than he did last season. And if that happens, well, the Bills are going to the Super Bowl then. If that happens. But
So
I want Josh Allen to win MVP.
so you almost got what I was gonna say. I wrote Josh Allen and then I was like, okay, I'm a Bills fan and that's fun. But what's even more fun? And I was like, what if the guy who's number one in targets for Josh Allen has like half of his yards? What if Diggs goes for like 2,400 and it's just like wide receiver MVP of the season? 50% of that quarterback who had that amazing season was to that one guy. I want Diggs. I think we haven't like quarterback is fun, but you know how much cooler it is to get a guy to win the MVP that like isn't guaranteed to get the ball on like every snap. Like the quarterback is almost guaranteed to touch the ball every play. Wide
Mm-hmm.
receiver, that's so much more fun. So that was mine. All right. What about dark horse MVP candidate?
I don't know how much of a dark horse this is. I haven't really seen it been talked about, but he's old, coming off a Super Bowl win. You like he's ready to set the league on fire now. Really getting used to his team last year, trying to baby steps in Tampa Bay. I think Tom Brady is a pretty decent dark horse to win MVP this season, riding that Super Bowl high. Really got some chemistry going with the guys in Tampa now. He's got Tampa Bay trademarked finally, so his mind's off of that. He's got the bag secured in the trademark department. He's going to be bringing in all that passive income, and he's going to be actively balling on the field.
I get that one. I think Brady kind of in what's happened in recent years hasn't really been like he's dropped off like his whole game, but I feel like there's been points in the season where he's more likely to hit lulls in his older age. So I
Mm-hmm.
actually like that one because that would mean that he would actually have to like play a really impressive 16 game slate, which he hasn't done in a while because he usually has a few weeks in there that aren't too impressive. And I mean MVPs even have that, but you really got to be putting up some insane yards to get the MVP of the league. My dark horse, once again, I'm kind of going with the idea that it's like it's pretty hard for a non QB to win, right? So I was like, who is the next guy that I think like not at the quarterback position that could win? Derrick Henry can just like absolutely go off, and even though I wouldn't even say that he's the best player on the Titans because the best player on the Titans is AJ Brown because he's insane. But he definitely could, just with the touches he gets, just with the way he plays, just a dominating force. I mean, there's really an argument to be made there. If we have a year where quarterbacks don't go absolutely insane, we have a year where it's just like kind of a bunch of quarterbacks playing at an average level, he could come in and steal that potentially.
Yeah, and my super big stretch is Derrick Henry's teammate. A guy that in league circles isn't really considered the best wide receiver in the NFL, but this is the biggest AJ Brown appreciation podcast there is. I think AJ Brown, if Tannehill just feeds him, especially with how the number two spot on that team shrunk down now that Corey Davis isn't there. You got an unproven rookie. Tannehill's going to rely on AJ Brown a lot more now. He's going to be getting a lot more targets. Play action is going to be heavy.
I mean,
AJ Brown, big stretch to win MVP, but I'd love it if it happened.
there's nothing that AJ Brown can't do. And the best part is how efficient AJ Brown is when he actually gets the ball. Like,
Mm-hmm.
looking at him in terms of his targets to receptions and then what he does with them, he's extremely good. If he got targets like other guys like Michael Thomas or Diggs last season, or who was another guy who got a lot? I mean Hopkins, just those guys. If he got those amount of targets, his stock goes up immensely. But you got to keep handing the ball off with that freak in the backfield.
Mm-hmm.
My huge reach MVP candidate. Now we need either an awful week one from somebody, or we need him to win a job straight out. My extreme dark horse MVP candidate, and I don't know if they would be willing to do this because I don't know if they're willing to give it to rookies, but I'm saying Justin Fields. You got two absolute weapons at the receiver position. Allen Robinson and Darnell Mooney are insane ones and twos. And this is supposed to be a huge stretch. So this is okay. But those two guys are absolutely insane. And then you want to talk about a run game that can complement itself really well with Montgomery and Cohen, like basically opposite guys. Absolutely tremendous. The only thing that's a little questionable here is kind of the tight end position. I haven't recently looked into the O-line too much, but that's why he's got his wheels to work with, too. Plus, I mean, he's just insanely passionate about the game. I mean, when we see him like eventually step on the field and like run down the field to block for a running back on like a 50-yard touchdown run where he's the one who blocks off the safety. We haven't seen anybody do that since David Garrard or Achilles Smith. So we definitely know that he could become an MVP candidate if he got to play. Sorry, I said 15 games. I meant like 16 or 17 games this season. He really could. And if not that, I mean, if he plays a lot of games, potentially offensive rookie of the year type performance.
Mm-hmm. I really like it. Really like it.
I'm excited. I can't wait for Fields to step on the field, even though he wasn't necessarily the highest ranked guy. I'm just really excited to see what he does with Chicago.
Yeah.
Finally
He's
got a
going to be
QB.
electric.
Finally got a QB.
Mm-hmm.
You all set?
Yeah. I think we can cut it here.